take a water. That'd be great. Thank you for asking.
Mike, what do you hope flips or becomes more intensified as you get into the playoffs? I mean, what kind of things can you push this week?
Well, that the good and the bad from previous are gone, and keep the focus out the front of the windshield. Guys had a lot of energy today, and I think they're excited about the opportunity that it's playoffs. The light's there at the end of the tunnel, which is a little different during the regular season. Now you're talking weeks, not months. And so there's a sharpness about the guys and the idea of turning the page from the regular season and turning it into the playoffs. So it was a good day today.
Dave.
Sorry, Mike, I obviously haven't been around much here in the last couple months, but it seems like this has not been up to your expectations, but there have been some great moments. The Milwaukee tournament, Chicago, even if it wasn't perfect, was a strong performance against a great opponent. In general, what's happened that's kept this year from being everything you'd hoped?
Well, too many valleys, not enough peaks. We weren't able to sustain. We got off to a slow start, and we had a bad combination of we weren't giving up a lot, but it was still going in the net. And then we weren't giving our goaltenders the offensive support that they needed. We were in volume, but volume doesn't win hockey games. You've got to score goals. And then once we found our stride offensively with some secondary scoring, and then we started to have more consistency because we were giving our goaltenders more support, I thought Scarf ended up getting on a little bit of a roll. And we gained a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence. And if we weren't successful on a weekend, it wasn't by a lot. There was something that we did, whether it would be not completing an opportunity on a power play, giving up a goal late, just little bumps in the road that can cost you games. They weren't entire 60 minutes that you wanted to flush. And then over this last part of our regular season, again, lost our way a little bit from the goaltending perspective, us defending for our goaltenders, and then at the most important piece of it is the offense dried up a little bit. So if you look at it, it's a little bit of a sandwich, and I don't like the bread on either side of that. I like the meat. I don't like the bread. And so right now it's going back and reinforcing some of the events that we've had. You've mentioned a couple. When we weren't successful this year, we played a lot of one-goal games. We played a lot of overtime games. So the spin that we're putting on it and the perspective that we have is we're still in control of what happens to us. And so we've got to go out and dictate, not wait. Because you're going to play a team that is really comfortable in their own skin this weekend against Ohio State. They're very good defensively. Depending on which goaltender they're going to play, they're comfortable where they're at. So we're going to have to go on the road and string together what we need to be able to survive for another week.
I know people have pointed out this is a flip from last season where they came into your building and they emerged in 3 games. Do you look back at that and say, or I don't know if your players are looking at that and saying, we can do that to them. We're going into their place, well, not their place, somebody else's building, but going into Columbus to try to do that to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that people have been out there, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's been written about. It's history, and so you can go back and read about history, and it teaches you the good and the bad, and you try and learn from both. And for us, we're really dialed into what we're doing every day right now, and you, I know, must be getting tired of hearing me say that, but the group's bought in, and so we have an opportunity to erase the back half by going in and trying to survive and be excited about it. I don't feel I've had to sell anything to our guys. The leadership group, the guys that understand that now we are at it's win or go home. And so they've been really focused early, need that to progress throughout the rest of the week so the guys feel good about themselves and prepared for a very difficult task, but one that we're excited about.
What do times like this, with the unfortunate, how things have gone as of late, how have you what does this say about your team to be able to battle back, and what will this series say about your team going into next year as well?
Opportunity to grow as individuals, as collectively, and then also our program, what our expectations are. You know, whether we're playing at home or we're playing on the road, at this time of the year, a year ago, this didn't go well for us. That's history. That's behind us. We have an opportunity now that we want to take advantage of, and it's opportunities for guys. You know, the longer we play, the more opportunities for our athletes. All levels. Guys that are finishing their career here and moving on to the next step. They still have an opportunity to show themselves and their worth for an organization that might be looking at them. Are they giving them an opportunity to play in the American League, the National Hockey League, the Coast? So there's still some individual things there, but the one thing categorically I can say from this group, from start till now, through the peaks and through the valleys, they've enjoyed each other. They've stuck together. And that'll be tested this weekend. And if they want to stay together a little bit longer, they've got to find a way to win 2 games this weekend.
Mike, can you just speak to what it's like being a part of this time of year and playing, meaningful hockey?
It's everything. You put your book of business together now. In college hockey, it's a little different than, say, pro hockey or even junior hockey, because the first series that we have is a best of 3. Then it's kind of the best of 1. And so it's a little bit different that way, but, you always remember how you finish. Now, I can remember how we started, just because that's the coach in me. But, this is why you play an entire season. The book of business wasn't good enough to get us in as an at-large bid. And so now our path's real crystal clear. We've got to win our tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. And so there's really not a lot of, hey, we're wondering what we need to do, or we need other people to do work for us. We've got to do our own work. And at this time of the year, it's exciting because, like I said to Todd, you're not looking a long ways away. You're worrying about your today. We've got 1 weekend that we've got to take care of to be able to survive and move on. And that's an exciting piece that these guys all look forward to.
Go ahead. This is a little bit different scenario with not going into their building. Both teams are playing in a different place, and I can't imagine a lot of them have ever played in that building before. Maybe Luke did in high school, Luke Boss, I don't know. But does that change anything for you, having to prepare for a different building, or having them also being in an unfamiliar situation? How does that present itself this week?
Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't like the way it went last time in the building that we were at, so I'm okay changing venues. Again, for us, it's going to come down to, and you look at the games that we played against them, a lot of 1-goal games, somebody make a play, make a save. That's this time of the year. I don't think you're going to see either team have 5 or 6 power plays. This is just an important time of year, and for us being able to go into a building that we haven't been into, maybe it's a little bit more of an even situation just because they haven't. But I'm sure there's been multiple times that some of the guys that have been there have gone over and either been in that building or skated in it, so that's still a home ice advantage.
I go in a really different direction here, and I'm not sure how much kind of crossover men's team and women's team, how much you guys pay attention to each other or whatnot, but what have you learned about Mark Johnson in your time here? What were your impressions coming in? Now you've gotten to work somewhat alongside him. Who is he?
Oh, if you were me, would you pay attention? They've lost 1 hockey game. You want to learn how people accomplish certain things. There's an interest in Tom Brady. There's an interest in Bill Belichick. There should be an interest in Mark Johnson. Now, when you ask me who he is, I think if you've ever spent any time with him, he's humble, accomplished, knowledgeable, willing to share experiences, always wanting to get better himself. You watch the way their team plays. I think it plays free. They've got a lot of talent. It's one thing to have talent and continue to do what they do as a staff. And so I've been able to watch some of their practices. Mark and I feel, are continuing to develop our relationship. He's been fantastic for me this season because he's gone out of his way to check in, say, hey, how you doing? And just share some of the experiences. So, we're blessed to have him here at the university. Those young ladies, I think, are very fortunate to be coached by him and their staff. And yeah, we do pay attention. But it's just because really everything that you see with Mark Johnson, his family, the history here, it's just quality. And so you want to be around quality, and when you have an opportunity to learn from someone like that, you better take advantage of it. Thank you.